Greetings, fellow meditators. Let's pay attention inside. Get ready for the last class of the year. Simple Siddhi meditation today. Very simple. Connecting with you guys inside as you are connecting with your devices to the stream. And giving time to my crew to set up. Hey, Lakshmi. Today, a simple Siddhi. I was wondering what I was going to teach for the last Siddhi class. And I had no Siddhi in mind. And I decided this is exactly what I'm going to teach. First, we're going to do a little prayer, okay? So if you want, put your hands in a prayer mudra. And you just get ready for prayer. Just get ready for prayer. You put yourself in a state of being where you're about to pray now. You're about to say the words, but you don't say any. You just, like, just before you jump, just before you talk, just before you act. In a prayer state, and just before you start saying the first words of the prayer, you just stay there. Just stay there. And the prayer we're going to say has no words. Doesn't matter. It's a long prayer, but it has no words. And you're just about to pray. And you just stay there. In that state. It's just about to happen. Okay, get ready. We're going to pray now. And just stay there. In your mind, in your being, in your heart. And you just take a deep breath. And you go into state like the silence after the Amen, or the so be it, the silence after the last word. You just prayed, and there's a silence there. This minuscule moment of silence just before you talk, and this minuscule moment of grace and silence right when you're done, right after you said the last word to conclude your prayer. There's a holy silence there. And you're just there. And it just gives you the feeling of communion. Doing your prayer with no words. The Siddhi that we're going to practice today is a silence. It's the Siddhi of an intentional silence. It's like if you were saying a word as a Siddhi meditation, but the word is. It's not nothing, it's a silence. So instead of keeping your mind silent and having no thoughts, you do have a thought. You do have a thing you're about to say, but it's a silence. So we're going to pay attention and practice Siddhi meditation. And as you breathe in your mind you go and you drop a silence. And as you breathe out, it's not the same thing as keeping your mind empty. It's not the same thing as trying to not think. After a year of training of Siddhi meditation, you've done enough to understand that principle. And you can successfully practice the intentional silence. As you breathe and relax on the breath in, you drop your Siddhi. An empty moment, the absence of a word. And as you breathe out, the same. And if your mind wants to get active, say that Siddhi more often. Just at the beating of an intentional silence. For the few who just joined, the Siddhi of today is an intentional silence. It's an empty moment. You practice the Siddhi meditation, and in your mind you just say that empty space, that silence. No word. Just keep it in mind. There is mental activity, so it's not a practice of no mind. But it is empty. After practicing a lot of Siddhi meditation, we can do this practice easily. It's not per se a Siddhi meditation because there's no word to contemplate. And as I keep guiding class, you keep practicing the technique, even if it is transcendental. Just breathing and repeating that silent moment sporadically. Just drop a silence. And then another one. And another. This will clear your mind, but also give you insight on the concepts of emptiness, vacuity. As you get used to it, you try to drop a silence slower, a bit less often, until you reach a point where you drop a silence at the end of your breath in and at the end of your breath out. And if your mind is active, you do it more often than that. But if it is comfortable in your mind, you make the silence coincide with this pause between the breath. At the end of the breath in, there's a moment that we're not breathing in or out. We're just at the top of the breath in. At the end of the breath out, there's a moment we're not breathing. There's just a silence also in the breath. Space of emptiness. The first times you do it, you will control your breath, and that is acceptable. Eventually, you just do it when you naturally finish a breath in or a breath out. If it is more comfortable in your mind, drop your silence during the breath in. And drop a silence during the breath out. And in between the motions of the breath, keep it completely empty. It's just a variation. You breathe. And once in a while in your mind, you just say nothing, a silence. That intentional silence. Slower and slower. And after a few minutes of practice, stay empty. Stop dropping the silence. As long as your mind is inactive, conscious, but inactive, you're just there. And the only mental activity is the awareness that there's nothing else. Just be empty. Just be there. Good. Take a deep breath. Focus on the body and transmigrate in your body. Incarnate. You are ending this meditation, but you're not activating your mind with anything else anyway. Except for incarnation, you're incarnate. You are in the body, and you just stay in this space after meditation. Just before your mind is about to think about something else, but you just stay there. Like it. That was a nice meditation. Stay in that. And you're incarnate. Conscious of the body. There's a nice expression I like to say, sitting in your butt. You just sit in your pants. Sitting in your body consciously. And you just stay in this moment after meditation. You enjoy it. It might feel like you're still meditating, but it's just after meditation. And you stay there. But incarnate. Simple. Peaceful. Present. All right. It was as simple as that. During the year, we've learned a lot of different cities or a lot of different applications. When you feel like it, just go and review. You can browse the videos on this Facebook page or on the YouTube playlist where we have all the videos. And you just pick one. You might want to see the seminar on the Siddhis of the path of Krishna. It's a seminar of the... I don't think I've taught these Siddhis during the year. The goal was to teach various other Siddhis. But in the Maharya tradition, the first Siddhis that we practice, that we learn, Anima Mahima Garima Lagima Prakti Prakamya Hishidva Vashidva Kamarutadva Anumi Madvam. It's a series of 10 Siddhis created by Krishna, which is one of the main teachings of Krishna in the Maharya tradition. We are Buddhist, of course, Hindu Buddhists, but we practice that part of the sadhu path. Because as a Hindu Swami, doesn't look like it, but I'm a fully initiated Hindu Swami. The sadhu path and the cities of Krishna is where I was initiated. Seven years and a half of training with intense Brahmanical people. The cities of Krishna are useful. They train something in us, in discovering ourselves as Vishnu. Very, very intense. This year we learned Siddhi meditation with useful applications. How to meditate on a certain concept. What personal growth can we do to facilitate the integration and the manifestation of the Siddhi? It was a nice year. I don't know what I'm going to teach next year in class. I think I'm going to start with various wisdom and we'll see where it goes. Last year, it was the Mahakaruna Dharani. This year was Siddhi meditation. Next year we'll see. It was fun. I'm looking at the time. It's a short class, but hey, I'm done. I'm so happy with the results of this Siddhi year. So much beautiful wisdom that has been recorded. And that will remain forever. And that's pretty awesome. I believe the 1st of January, I am in seminar, giving seminars only to acharyas. But we are going to stream the day, the first, my pleasure, the first day of 2023 is the last day of the Acharya only seminar in Denmark. And the entire day will be streamed. Well, it's just a few hours in the morning and in the afternoon. So it's the typical Danish schedule. So 10 to 1 Denmark time, and then 3 to 6 Denmark time, or 3 to 5. So if you want to be there for the 1st of the 1st, 2023, the entire day is a day of practice, pretty much only practice of various techniques that will serve in empowering the Mahajriya. That's the big goal of that day of practice, is rituals to bring power, dharma, propagation, incarnation, manifestation of the dharma wheel of the Mahajriya in the world. So that's the point. All right. Love you guys. Peace. Happy holidays.